When your care provider says that they don't actually know what caused you to end up having a C-section or to have a complication, chances are that they have blinders on, especially if they ended up doing things during your birth. Because physiological birth is a process that your body does naturally. And it is your own unique process. It's not the same thing as what is in the textbooks. In fact, some dude named Friedman years ago decided that all women had to dilate 1 centimeter per hour to be considered to be in active labor. And he based that off of women who were in the hospital on Pitocin, and that's how he assessed it. So this was not a physiological birth. And when you are basing everything, your entire model of care, on whether or not you fit a certain mold or in the box, it's not supporting your physiological process. So you really need to take that with a grain of salt when your care provider says, I don't know, sometimes these things just happen. The truth is, these things don't just happen. Oftentimes, it was something else that led to that thing happening, such as you were induced, or they stripped your membranes, or they gave you a cervical check that caused you to get really stressed out, or they ended up breaking your waters, or they ended up doing something else during your birth that was interfering with the physiological process. So really start to think, what is it that they could have done that messed with my physiological process? And that's why the right education is so important. Because once you understand physiological birth, you can start to see how common routine interventions that are done all the time in the hospitals are what lead to a lot of the actual problems that come up. In fact, Reclaiming Childbirth as a Rite of Passage goes into great detail about the physiological process. And you can even see, especially myself as a childbirth educator who's been in the birth world for almost 10 years now, I can just see how a lot of the interventions, why they end up leading to these disastrous results in the first place. It makes sense once you understand birth physiology. So go check that out. Go find Rachel Reed's book, Reclaiming Childbirth as a Rite of Passage, and start learning. And I'll see you soon.